Hey, what's going on guys? Steve Lee from Revolt Studio and welcome back for another new tutorials, and today we'll be taking a look on how to do the screen replacement effect. It looks like the guy is having fun tickling the car on his phone. Well, anyway, I know there's like hundreds of thousands of similar tutorials on YouTube, and you might be wondering, why am I doing this again? It's because from what most of the tutorials that I've seen, most of them looks fake and doesn't blend in well with the shots. And in this video, I'll be covering all the technique that I use when it comes to screen replacement in realistic compositing. And the minor details that you can do to take your shot to the next level is by adding screen light reflection on your thumb. Check out link in the description down below for the footage that I use in this video. And let's get started. So I've got my footage ready in here, and let's go ahead and drag it in here and create a new comp. And let's go ahead and search for Mocha effects in the effects and preset and drag it into the footage. And then we're going to click on Mocha and we're going to go in and work in Mocha. Usually when I do screen replacement effect, there will be a track points in here at the corners of the phone, but in this case I'm using stock footage and doesn't have a track point, and we have to compromise it. Okay, now we're going to select the X-Spline tools in here and press Z to zoom in, press X to drag the screen around, and we're going to track four corners of the phone right here. Let's go ahead and do this. And then you can right click to release, and we have created our first track points. And now we're going to create more in the same layer, but now we are going to go to the X-Spline layer, and instead we are going to select this. And then we can move around and create a new track point. This allows us to add more track points in the same layer. Then we're going to scrub through the footage, and we notice that the user is tilting his phone throughout the footage, and we wanted to track the perspective of the phone as well. So let's go ahead and go down here and enable perspective for tracking. Then let's go to the first frame of the footage and click on this button right here to track forward. Okay, once we're done, let's go back to the first frame and we're going to see how the Mocha does the tracking, and we can go ahead and create a reference point by clicking this planar surface. Now let's zoom in and drag the corner of the reference point into the corners of the phone screen respectively. Then we are going to click on this grid buttons on top. This will create a reference grid for us, and now we have better visualization of the final outcome and the perspective of the screen that we're going to do with. Once we're happy with the result, let's go to the first frame and click on this button right here to expand the corner pin to full frame. And then we can go ahead and turn on the reference point and click on this button right here to save. Then we can go ahead and close it. Let's go ahead and rename this layer into Mocha. And then let's go to the effects and preset and search for key light. Drag it into our comp. Now let's go ahead and key out the green on the screen. Let's click on this button right here and select the green color on the screen. We are not done yet, because as we can see, if we turn on this alpha matte visibility, there is some details that we start to lose, and in order to fix that, we're just gonna go ahead and duplicate the main footage by pressing Ctrl or Command D, and let's go to the bottom layer and delete the key light effect. And now we're going to fix the spill color on the hand. Let's go to the frame that we think would work best. Maybe here, and you can see that there's a little bit of green reflected on the hands, and we want to fix that. Now let's go ahead and go to display bias, and we're going to select the color that would be best described to match the shadows and tones of the green that are in here. And let's go ahead and select this one. And immediately we notice that how much of difference it makes in terms of color by removing the spill on the hands. But we're starting to losing the details of colors with the background as well. And if we look back to the original footage, just click on this, the solo, and we can see that there's a little tones of green at the background. And if we use the key lights effect in here, we are removing those green as well. So We want to bring back the green of the background and removing only the greens on the hand. Let's go ahead and rename this to hand. And then we're gonna take the pen tool and keep this layer solo. And let's go to first frame. Let's start to creating a mask around the phones and the hands. And let's go ahead and solo this layer, and we can press M to open up the mask path and click on the stopwatch right here. And now we're going to animate the mask. We're just going to work on the 2 seconds of this footage. Just go to 2-second timestamp and press N to bring the work area here. And now we can start to work on the mask path. The reason that we want to animate the mask path is because if we move through the time frame, we can see that there's this two layers overlapping with each other, and this hand layer will have the green spill color removed, and it will create this different shades of tones of color in here, and this is not what we want. So we wanted to animate the mask path. Then we can go ahead and do this. Keep in mind that we wanted to remove these shades of green on the hand of the user. Then we can go back and forth and check and fine-tune the keyframe. I would recommend to do 2 frames at a time, or you can go and do 5. Now let's go ahead and create a new solid. Right click in this empty area and go to new and select solid, and let's rename it to screen and make comp size and click OK. And let's move it below the hand layer. Now make sure we're at the first frame of the screen, and then we're going to search for the effect called corner pin, and let's drag and drop onto our screen layer. And now what we're going to do is that we're going to drag the corner pin of this 4 corners into the corners of the phone. Let me just do that. You can zoom in to fix it. As we can see from here is that we have this little noise around the phone screen, and we don't want it to be there. So to fix that, I'm just gonna go to the hand layer, hold Control or Command, and then we're just gonna increase and decrease the value of clip black. Then let's go to the Mocha, and then just select the corner pin, support motion blur, and export, and select screen, and then effect and mask. And we are going to create track data of this layer and click on it to enable, and then apply export, and make sure that we're at the first frame of the screen. If we solo the screen layer, we can see that the screen is now following exactly like what the phone does. And let's go ahead and pre-comp this. Right click, pre-comp, and let's rename it to screen and leave all attributes. And let's double click and go in, and in here we can start to do a lot of editing. And then I've got my car radius in here. I'm just gonna drag and drop it here, and then we are going to scale it now like that. And let's go back and unsolo this layer. We are not done yet, as we can see that the car doesn't have the actual size as the reference image, and we wanted to fix that. And let's go ahead and select this comp area and hold down Control Alt Shift and then N to open up the new window. Then we'll have the original layers in here, and we wanted to select this. And let's go to the screen, and this will allow us to work in both and have a better view of the screen as well. So we're gonna adjust this, and you can see the changes it has on this left as well. There we go. Now we are going to take this effect to the next level. Let's go ahead and close this comp and click on this lock button right here to unlock the layer. And let's go to the footage tree, and then let's add shadows. Let's go to the screen layer and right click and go to layer cell and select inner glow, and then we're gonna go to the inner glow drop down menu and change the blending mode to normal. And then we're gonna go to the select a darker color like this, and we're gonna increase the size to about 15, and range is about 70, and this will create a shadow around the inner screen. And we can go ahead and increase the noise about 2%. Now we're going to do some color correction on the screen, because as you can see, the white color of the screen doesn't match with the white color of the surrounding shots like this. So let's go ahead and create a new adjustment layer, and then we're going to drag it above the screen layer, and then let's go to the effects and preset and search for an effect called gradient ramp, and drag and drop it onto adjustment layer. Let's shut this layer off, and now we're going to zoom in and we're going to look for the area that would best simulate the shadows of the film, that would match the color and the shadows of the palm. And let's go ahead and select this and click on the nearest darkest color, and let's move around and pick for the brightest color in here, and we can change it to something brighter a little bit. And now we're going to turn this layer on. Now we're going to fix the angle of the shots, and let's go and create this and drag it in here and drag it in here, so we can go and have a better visualization on how the shadow will look like. And then we're going to change the blending mode to darken, and now it creates this unnecessary masking blending effect, and we want it to just stay on screen. So we're going to duplicate, hit Ctrl D to duplicate the screen, and then we're going to move it above the adjustment layer, and then we're going to go ahead and create an alpha mask screen. We can go back to the adjustment level and make some adjustment on the color of the shadows as well. Then we're going to take this adjustment layer and parent it to the screen layer so that the shadow moves along with the footage. And then go to the ramp scatter and set to 100, and blend with the original. We're going to key in 50. Let's take our effect to the next level by adding the light reflection onto a thumb that is interacting with the screen, and we can have a better reference point just like here. And let's go ahead and duplicate the hand layer, pressing Ctrl D, and then we're gonna pre-comp this and rename it shadow thumb, and move all attributes into a new comp. Then go to the effects and preset and look for an effect called CC glass, and drag it and drop it onto a shadow thumb. And then we can go to all of these settings and turn off the ambient, diffuse, and matte. On top of here, we're going to change the value to 30, -30, and 0. And then down here, we're going to go to the light direction and key in -27 in this case. And then we're going to change the blending mode to add. But we are not done yet. And let's lower the light intensity to about 50. Then you can see from here we are getting much better result. And then we're going to take the pen tool and select the shadow thumb and create a mask around the thumb area. And press F to open up the mask feather and play like 15. And one final touch, let's not forget to animate the car on the screen so it moves when the thumb swipes. You can have a better look by using dual window screen like this. Animate the position property of the car, and when you're done, let's not forget to press F9 to ease all the keyframes. And that's it for this effect, guys. You can let me know in the comment section down below what you have learned. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I've been busy lately and I don't have much time to create 2 videos every week as promised, but I'll solve my problem as soon as possible and get back on track and provide more videos and training awesome tutorials for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked this video, and we'll see you in the next one. And keep learning.